I just found out that they bringing back segregation. And let me tell you something. Tell your friends and your family, I don't even know if y'all got cousins or not. Tell them to hurry up and put them signs up. For people like you that voted for this man, y'all want to sit there and cry, talking about we need to stand together. When have y'all ever stood with us?
Rolling back segregation. What are we gonna do?
Not one goddamn thing. Not one goddamn thing. I speak for myself, just my personal opinion, but I done speaking about this and I spoke to leaders, and everybody I speak to say it's probably gonna be the best thing that ever can happen to black people. A mandate for us to unite without consumption power. We got the greatest consumption power in the world, and you gonna mandate us to unite? Yeah. Ever since we integrated, our economic state has been worse. Our families have been torn apart. And when we made a decision to chose that, we got what we got now. And everybody that I see, that's why you don't hear no outcry from black people about this new executive order about segregation. I don't think we give a damn about it.
Go ahead and put them signs up. We don't care nothing about that segregation. Put them signs up so we can take away our dollar. And you can learn just like Target learned. We do not care. We are resting.
I tell you, all my black people are understanding the assignment about this segregation stuff. Y'all are understanding the assignment. It's like we're all united. Like we understand the assignment. Like we get it, right? So I seen a video today by a non-black person, right? And she was saying, you know, they're trying to bring back segregation. What are we going to do, right? Like we have to help, yada, 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 right? And so every black person I see in the comments, like, we ain't doing nothing. We finna go line dancing. Everybody like, I need to give me some boots. I need to figure out how to do the, where them fans at dance. They was like, we taking naps, baby. I done booked my vacation. Everybody just in the comments, and the lady's like, oh my gosh. She was like, you know, yeah, I get it. But ma'am, listen, we do not care. We need to bring that sound back, because we're not doing nothing at all. Like, we ain't playing into the trap. We know what y'all want. We not doing it. We ain't got no capes. We capeless. We not Captain Saving nobody. Do it. Do what you want to do. Y'all been doing what y'all want to do for years. Why are we not crying? Keep passing the vibe check, cause y'all eating down in them comments. Love y'all. Bye.
What's even worse is the amount of people that I'm seeing commenting that are like, yeah, good, I hope he brings it back. And most of those people do not look like me. Yeah, so I don't know why you would want that. Sounds pretty damn hateful to me. He did not bring back segregation. What he did is try to protect women and children in bathrooms. I don't see where that's a problem. I would prefer to not have to worry about being in a restroom with a man walking in. Just a thought. I do have a daughter. I'd like to know that she's safe when she's in there. So, yeah. Trump did not bring back segregation. He did not bring back racial segregation for those in the back.
White people, how do you feel about the segregation ban? I already know how people of color feel in other minorities, but what about y'all? How do you feel about this? Like, are you happy? I know that's kind of like a setup, huh? Because if you're all like, yeah, then I'm like, oh, we found him. But no, I'm like curious, like, because I mean, it doesn't really affect y'all.
Rolling back segregation. What are we gonna do?
They're like, yeah, good, I hope he brings it back. And most of those people do not look like me. Yeah, so I don't know why you would want that.
Then people want us to be mad so bad. I don't know, segregation being bad don't sound too bad to me. You mean to tell me I don't have to guess if my mac and cheese got raisins in it or not? You mean to tell me when I walk into a bathroom it's going to be clean with R&B playing? You mean to tell me I get to pick the best restaurants to go to? I don't have to guess. Bro, we're about to be living like the kings and queens that we are. And I feel like this is going to backfire real bad. Because realistically, we make everything. Nobody is going to want to go to the other side. Even the people that aren't on that side but are you know, the ones with common sense, they're gonna be so mad. They're gonna be on one side with the boring cookout and then looking at the other side with our cookout. And they're gonna be looking like, why did y'all do this? Me personally, I feel like segregation being back is just grounds for we're about to take over everything. You know what? I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I really can't, because that sounds lit.
They say they're bringing back segregation. I ain't too mad at it because I got a couple lines I've been waiting to get off.
So what's your take?
Bring back segregation.
100% disagree.
Dead angry. Bring it back. I want to know where I'm not welcome, okay? Put them signs back up. Colors only, whites only. Let's do it, all right? Rip the Band-Aid off. Especially for a restaurant. Are you kidding me? Whites only? What do I want to do in there? What they got? Mashed potatoes, mayonnaise, hot dogs. Colors only, we got seasoning, turmeric, paprika.
Okay, I like this.
Okay.
You're saying that the black excellence.
Absolutely.
The segregation is to get the
colored excellence.
Okay.
Okay, what's the playlist in the whites only spot? They playing Carrie Underwood and Kid Rock. We playing Babyface and Diggable Planets. Ain't no overhead lighting. What are you talking about?
Wait, where am I going?
Colors.
Hell yeah.
Look at his hair.
They're bringing back segregation because they know a world without black and brown people.
Hello guys, have you ever noticed some of the most controversial conversations are the ones that make people stop and think? Well, that is exactly what this video does. It takes a topic that most people associate with one of the darkest periods in American history and looks at it from a completely different angle. Now, whether you agree with the speaker or not, I think it is worthy listening to the arguments before jumping into conclusion, guys. So let's watch out this video until the end, then I'll be back with more insights, guys.
People is coming, and it terrifies them. Trump just rolled back protections that ban segregated facilities for federal contractors, and the internet's acting shocked. But me, I'm not surprised, clearly. This is what desperate power looks like. This isn't about restoring order or merit-based hires. This is a tantrum from an almost 80-year-old man. White supremacy is in its flop era, and it's grasping at any old trick it can find. Segregation? Really? I feel like that's how we know they're scared. Because let's be real, black folks, we are unbothered. You can't shake people that have been surviving state-sanctioned violence since the dawn of time. We've had underfunded schools, medical negligence, and cultural erasure since day one. We don't panic when the system turns on us. We expect it. We don't fold, we multiply. We turn every block into a blueprint, every struggle into a strategy, and every threat into a legacy. As I said in my pinned video, a world without black and brown people is coming. Not because we're disappearing, because we're divesting from their politics, from their corporations, their watered down narratives, their respectability games. We want no parts. We've seen what happens when we show up and we make America run, but this time we're choosing to build our own instead. And that's what scares them. Not the loss of power, but the loss of relevance. Because without our culture, our labor, our innovation, our souls, what is America really? Let them scramble. Let them cling to segregation like it's going to save them. We've already moved on. And when that world without us fully arrives, they're going to finally understand what unbothered really looks like.
The reality is that black people live very, very full lives, and white people aren't even a thought. Like, black people tend to live their lives in a way where we do not think about what white people are doing. And that is very true. It is very factual. A lot of black people only interact with white people because they go to work with them, right? So if they do not work with white people and you're black, how many times are you socializing with white people outside of work? For a lot of black people, you don't really socialize a lot of times at work, after work, with white people. And so when you have that reality, then it begs for you to be able to go down a line of questioning, right? Which is, what is the issue with segregation? And I've seen some white people on here that was like, white people should be saying that segregation is bad. And the reality is that no, that's not really the problem, right? Because the problem is that we were separate and not equal. That's the problem. It was the maltreatment. Because the reality is that we are no longer segregated, but yet we are still mistreated. We still are not offered the same amount of opportunities. We are still not paid the same rate. We are still not afforded the equality of it. So what white people did was, okay, fine. We will desegregate. It's fine. But once black people entered these spaces, we were still being mistreated. And so the question could actually be, if we had equality, right? If we had equal access to buying land, equal access to be able to garner wealth, equal pay, and we were never desegregated, would desegregation actually be necessary? And there is a, when you take a look at what was happening with the Tulsa riot, is the fact that Black people were equal and separate. Right? They had land, they had businesses, they were accruing wealth. It was the wealthiest Black community. And white people who were not a part of the community, very much separate, and yet we are equal, right? They have banks, they have people that build, they have people that, grocery stores, they have houses, they have neighborhoods, they have milkmen, they have mailmen. White people have their own neighborhoods, white people have their own businesses, white people have their own groceries, white people have their own things, separate but very much equal. And white people looked over and said, what are they doing over there? And bombed it. Right? Because otherwise, if Black people continue on prospering on their own, why would any Black person say, I need to be over there? There's an argument for that. And so then when you look further, taking a look at desegregation, right? Whose lives improved due to closer proximity of white and Black people? White people. Their lives improved. Their logic improved. All of a sudden, they begin to be enlightened on the reality of the fact that they themselves were lied to. Otherwise, had they not come into proximity with Black people, there is no reason for them to believe that their ancestors ever did anything wrong. Or there's also no reason to believe that they are more like Black people than what they were told. Because many, many years ago, the Republican Party, right, they said that the way that you are able to steal from poor white people is to convince them that they're better than Black people. And if you can convince them of that, you can steal money from out of their pockets and they would never notice. So here we are, where we are no longer desegregated. And you see all over this app where you have white people that are learning a lot about historical truths that Black people already knew. We already knew these things. But you have white people on a daily that are like, I didn't know that. That's not what I was taught. I wasn't taught that, right? You have whole religious sects of people that were literally taught that the Civil War was not about slavery. You literally have all of these white people that had no clue that Juneteenth existed, or why it existed, or how many years it actually took post-emancipation for the last slave to actually be freed. Proximity has caused for a lot of the misinformation fed to white people to perpetuate racism, to be dismantled. And so you literally have people that are white nationalists. I need you to follow. You literally have people that are white nationalists that are now running the Republican Party, right? In order for them to bring white people back into subjugation, we have to separate them from minorities, because they are learning truths that causes it to be extremely difficult for us to tell them that Black people are subservient, because proximity means that you are able to identify where we overlap. Now they're understanding the humanity of minorities. And now they're not going to go along with the Aryan beliefs that white people are the elite race and they are better than another ethnic group and they deserve to have things by virtue of them being white. Do you see how segregation has nothing to do with Black people and has everything to do with getting white people back in line? Are you understanding what's going on here? Because it's never for the sake of black people, which is why black people is like, we cool. Segregate, separate, illuminate, elucidate, do whatever you got to do. And that is a very true reality, because we have only known desegregation. But we have also only known that when we're in your proximity, we are still killed. We are still murdered. We are still mistreated. We are still shunned. We do not have the same access, even though we are in closer proximity. So if our lives have not changed by becoming in closer proximity, why would we continue to be close? Okay, separate us. But you have white people that are like, no, segregation is wrong. Why? Because your life has changed because of proximity. Are you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you get this now? Are you tracking? The segregation thing has nothing to do with black people and everything to do with trying to put white people back in their place. Okay? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Let's talk about Jim Crow for a moment, because I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, y'all want segregation, y'all want to bring segregation back, so basically y'all asking for Jim Crow to come back. No, let's clear something up really quick. During Jim Crow era, they taught the so-called white people were better than so-called black people. White supremacy was implemented in Jim Crow time. This 2025, the truth is out. Everybody know that so-called whites are not better than so-called blacks. That's why the main people that's not wanting this segregation to happen is so-called whites. They want to be a part of what we're doing. They want to know what's going on with us. They want to be included. You know why? Because the truth is out, and they know that so-called blacks are superior to them and always have been. That Jim Crow era BS, that was indoctrination that was being pushed on so-called whites to teach them that they are better than a so-called black person, that they are smarter than a so-called black person, that they are more worthy than a so-called black person, that they are superior to a so-called black person. So we're not asking for Jim Crow back, because Jim Crow, you got us messed up. We already know who we are. Like the Most High said, that we're above all nations that are upon the face of the earth. So we're not declaring Jim Crow. We're simply declaring segregations. That means so-called whites, y'all go y'all way, and us so-called blacks will go our way. That's what we're declaring. They fear being separated from so-called black people, because we the salt of the earth. We invent everything. We get everything jumping. Without us, they would not know what to do, y'all. So we have to remember, during Jim Crow times, so-called blacks was treated horribly, so bad. And whites were treated so good. I'll be damned we go back to Jim Crow, because we know the truth now. We know that so-called white people are not superior. It's just a front. It's just a front. It's just a put on. But we know America is falling, and the truth is coming out. And these so-called whites are being exposed for the people that they are and have been for hundreds and hundreds of years, and the hidden hate that they have had towards our people, and try to still use it to today. But we know their false white supremacy is crumbling right before their eyes. Like I said, a kingdom against itself shall fall. And that's what we see in Babylon right now. America is crumbling, is falling, because they're separated. They can't even agree. The kingdom is falling from within. But Jim Crow, his biggest fear, check this out. Jim Crow biggest fear was so-called black people coming together in unity. Wow. Coming together in unity. And that's even active and alive today in America. They still push that propaganda to separate so-called blacks, to keep us feuding and fighting with one another. Just check out the workplace. You always got a coon somewhere running to the white man's office, snitching on his brother or sister. This was implemented hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago that still has an effect on our people. But when we say segregation, we're not talking about Jim Crow, because today
we're superior. Today, 2025, we are above all nations of people that are upon the face of the earth. So today, it'll be segregation. So-called blacks will be superior. So-called whites will be inferior. It won't be no Jim Crow. Now you can stamp that, sign that, and take that to the bank. We standing on that.
Why are white people so intimidated and threatened by black men, despite their claims that black men are inferior to them and incapable of the most basic tasks?
Well, there's an easy answer to that question. They know black men are are superior to them. Put us on any playing field, be it physics or football, and we will win. Give us the same opportunities, and we will win. Because we come from a history of not trying to destroy and dominate the world, and you come from a history of trying to destroy and dominate the world, and that has become the culture of the white community. You know, so you go into your medicine, and your first open heart surgery is a black man. Your first separating of Siamese twins is a black man. The creator that eventually produces your first artificial heart is a black man. You can just go on and on. A black janitor at Johns Hancock, all right, teaches your best surgeon, the janitor, who never went to med school. Give me a break. You got a TV set because of a black man. You got a cell phone because of a black man. You got a touchstone because of a black woman. You got the video game because of a black man. You've got the internet because of a brother from Ghana, Nigeria or Ghana, I think the brother's from. You got when we send messages on the computer. You know, like I'm gonna text you, what do you call it? Email. You have the email because of a black Indian man. And it's just going, all of the technology that you're using was created for your corporations by African peoples. Yeah. All of.
So white people will never leave black people alone, and I'm gonna tell you why. White society's obsession with black people isn't new, it's centuries old. If you think about slavery, colonialism, and exploitation, from the start, white wealth in America was built off the backs of black bodies. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, rice. This wasn't just economics, it was a system where white people's very identity was shaped around controlling and owning and watching black bodies. But here's the wild contradiction in all of this, right? While trying to dehumanize us, white culture has always been obsessed with us, right? They copied our music, our style, our language, our food, even our rhythm, all while denying us basic rights. Think about jazz and rock and hip hop and fashion, all born out of black genius, only to be taken, watered down, and sold back to the world with a white face on it. So why can't they just stay away? Because in a system that is built both on exploitation and envy, distance is impossible. White supremacy depends on keeping black people in place, close enough to use, control, or imitate, but never free enough to threaten the hierarchy. It's a sick paradox, fear and fascination at the same damn time. On a psychological level, it's projection. White folks will project their guilt, their fear, and their insecurities onto blackness, and then turn around and crave the very life, culture, and resilience they tried to destroy. It's like they want the sauce, but not the struggle. Now, to be real, not every white person acts like this, but the system, the way whiteness has defined itself against blackness, makes it so this obsession keeps resurfacing. Whether it's over policing or culture appropriation or trying to legislate our lives, it always comes back to the old need to dominate mixed with a quiet desire to...
Guys, there's something that stood out to me is that the speaker isn't really celebrating the segregation of the past. Instead, he's talking about something different. He's arguing that if black communities focused more on building their own businesses, supporting one another financially, and creating a stronger independent institution, they could become much more economically powerful. Now, that is an interesting point because we often hear discussions about political change, but we don't always hear people talking about economic independence. Personally, I think there is some truth in the idea that strong local businesses and keeping more money circulating within community can create opportunities. At the same time, it is obviously a much bigger conversation because every community faces different challenges. So, guys, another point that the speaker makes is about this segregation, guys. He argues that although legal segregation ended decades ago, many black Americans still experience inequalities in areas like education, employment, housing, and the justice system, guys. From his perspective, simply changing the law didn't automatically solve every problem. So, I think that is where this discussion becomes more complicated. Most people would agree that America has made significant progress since the civil rights movements, but many would also acknowledge that some challenges still exist today. The real debate is about what the best solution are moving forward and what is where people tend to disagree. Something else that really caught my attention was the speaker's argument about political narrative. He believes that some of the debates we see in the media aren't always about helping ordinary people. Instead, he suggests that politicians sometimes use race and other divisive issues to gain support while bigger problems like the economy, education, healthcare, and the jobs don't receive the same level of attention. Now, whether that is entirely true or not is something our viewers will have to decide for themselves. But I don't think it's healthy to question political messaging regardless of which side of the political spectrum someone supports. It is always good to ask who is benefiting from a particular narrative. So, guys, the speaker also spends quite a bit of time talking about black culture and its influence on America. He argues that black Americans have contributed enormously to music, sports, fashion, entertainment, business, and many other areas of the society. His point is that these contributions have become much more an important part of America's life that they can't simply be separated from the country's identity. Looking at history, it is hard to deny the black artists, athletes, entrepreneurs, we have inventors and community leaders have had a tremendous impact, not only in the United States, but around the world. At the same time, I think it is also fair to recognize that America has been shaped by the contribution of many different communities over generations. That is part of what makes the country so diverse. As I continue watching the video, I realize that the speaker keeps coming back to one central idea, that is self-reliance. His message isn't simply about politics. It's about encouraging people to invest in education, strengthen families, support black-owned businesses, develop financial independence, and build stronger communities from the ground up. So, and honestly, regardless of where someone stands politically, I don't think many people would disagree with those goals. Strong families, quality education, successful businesses, and communities that support one another are things that generally benefit everyone. So, for me, the biggest takeaway from this video isn't really about segregation at all. It's about asking whether communities should rely mainly on government and political leaders to create change, or whether lasting progress begins with people investing in themselves and the communities around them. That is a conversation that is relevant far beyond America. Of course, not everyone will agree with the speaker's conclusion, and that is completely understandable. This is one of those topics where people have very difficult experiences and perspective. But I don't think discussion like this encourage us to think more deeply about economics, opportunity, leadership, and community responsibility instead of only focusing on political headline. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you think economic self-reliance is one of the key to stronger communities, or do you believe broader political and social reforms are still the most important path forward? I want you to share your thoughts in the comments below. And otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the subscription button, and also you can comment, like, and share this video out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.